Starbucks stock is down 8% year to date while the S&P is up 13%. And in this video, we are going to do a stock analysis by looking at the quantitative and qualitative aspects of the business. I am going to start with my Excel spreadsheet, which tells me at what price you should buy a stock based on the assumptions about the future of the company that you put in. I did a 7-year analysis and did low, middle, and high assumptions. I am going to explain the assumptions that I put in while we look at the financials and other aspects of the company. For revenue growth, I went with 7, 10, and 13. For the past 5 years, they have grown at an average of 7.7%. However, analysts are expecting an average of 11% for the next 5 years. I think they should achieve this as the same-store sales are expected to grow between 7 and 9%. Plus, they are going to be opening more stores. On my high assumptions, I went with 13% because of the international opportunity. And on my low assumptions, I went with 7% in case they struggle. Regarding their margins, as you can see, I went with 9, 11, and 14%. Right now, you're looking at their annual profit margin, which over the past 5 years has been at an average of 11%. Free cash flow margin is a bit higher with an average of 14% over the past 5 years. But I went with the same numbers because over the long run, profit margin and free cash flow margin should be equal, and they are very similar in this case. In this section, we need to talk about unions. Unions lead to higher costs, which can affect margins. My opinion is that their margins are not going to get affected that much because Starbucks is just going to pass costs to the consumer by increasing prices, so that their margins are not affected that much. Moreover, analysts are expecting Starbucks to make $7.19 in 2027. This is around 20% annual growth, which is a lot. Therefore, I think 9, 11, and 14% are reasonable assumptions regarding their margins. For P and price to free cash flow, the market average is 15. However, Starbucks owns around 40% of the coffee shop market share. You even see Starbucks across the street from each other. Therefore, I believe it deserves a premium, and this is why I am going to go with 17, 19, and 21. Moving on to shares outstanding, they have been buying back some shares in the past. However, their share buyback has slowed down over the past quarters, therefore I am going to leave it at 0% share repurchase. Finally, for the desired annual return, you can get around 10% investing in an ETF. Therefore, if you take the risk of investing in an individual stock, you should desire a higher return because of the risk. This is why I went with 11, 13, and 15%. Because as the assumptions get less probable, I need a bigger margin of safety. Now, let's reveal the prices. As you can see, there are 6 numbers. The top 3 are based on profit margin and the bottom ones on free cash flow. In this case, they are the same because I assumed the same on profit margin and free cash flow margin. These numbers mean 2 things. One, that these are the prices you should pay in order to make the desired return that I have put in. Secondly, that if the low assumptions occur, you are going to make a 2% return on your money annually over the next 7 years. If the middle assumptions occur, 10%, and if the high assumptions occur, 17%. So if you believe the high assumptions, this stock might be a good investment. I personally incline more towards the middle assumptions. And by the way, these returns include the dividend, which has a 2.4% yield at the moment, which I expect to be higher in the future. I also want to mention that the Excel spreadsheet does not take into account the balance sheet. So let's quickly take a look at it. As you can see, Starbucks has some debt, but nothing that worries me because this is a well-established company and they also have some leases. In conclusion, I believe Starbucks is a great company with still a lot of growth potential that I want to own, but not at the current price. This is not financial advice, you should always do your own research. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Let me know in the comments whether you think Starbucks is a buy or not, and I'll see you on the next one.